Hello and welcome to the Sound Test Room. My name is Jakob, I'm your host, and you're watching a attaQ episode. In this episode, I want to give you a list of 8 apps that have in some way changed the way I think about music and also how I make it. All of these apps have in some way changed something, added something, opened up new possibilities for me as a musician. And I want to start with Modstep. You see, I no longer call myself an iOS musician because that would suggest that I only use iDevices to make music. Nope, I call myself a mobile musician today because I want to make music with everything that you can carry around. And this is something that really struck me when I was hired by the Modstep team to make a video for Modstep. I had loads of fun making that video. I had to go out and borrow a Volca bass and also an iRig pad controller. And that's how I discovered that I've been missing out on something, the tactile thing. Sure, I'm fingering a surface, but there's something about holding a knob and controlling it or hitting a pad. So I want to expand the ways I make music, and Modstep made that very, very clear to me. I've had a big hardware studio before, but I let that go and I let the computers go. I mean, like the regular desktop, and went iOS only. But now I'm gonna bring some of that hardware back thanks to Modstep. Another app that kind of made me go out of my boundaries was Borderlands Granular. It totally changed the way I think about making sounds and pads and other kinds of things. It's using granular synthesis, so you take something very small and then you add it in big amounts and you create something very big. I've featured this app many times on my channel. It has changed the way I think, it's changed the way I make music, and I absolutely love this app. I recommend it to anyone that wants to try something different. Of course, I have to talk about some kind of propeller head product, and Figure definitely changed something for me. Figure was one of my first apps for my first iPhone, an iPhone 5. Almost 3 years ago, I had just entered the iOS musicians platform and I had no idea what I could do on an iPhone. I found Figure and it definitely opened up some stuff for me. I'm not a good keyboard player, and the way that you can work with scales inside Figure is brilliant for me because I never ever know what kind of keys I'm in or anything, or what keys go together with what. I can only play and listen and I'll know if it's good, but with Figure I never really struggle. So I hammer out a lot of ideas there, but I've also used a lot of stuff that came out of Figure. Figure is free, by the way, so if you haven't tried it yet, go and do so. Impactor definitely changed something for me. I've made a lot of music behind the scenes. I probably use Impactor in 90% of all of my tracks and all of my music. It listens to the microphone. So you tap a table and you get drum sounds out of it. And it's a synthesizer. It's a resonator synthesizer. It creates the drum sounds. These are not samples. That's why I love Impactor so much. And interacting with an app like that is just lovely. Again, I'm a bad keyboard player, so when I discovered Sound Prism, I was really happy. There's been 3 versions of Sound Prism, and the latest one is Sound Prism Link Edition. But that's not mainly why I loved Sound Prism. When I started using Sound Prism, it was years ago. I realized that I could play chords and bass using only 2 fingers. I didn't have to think about where to place my fingers to try to find the right chords for the right keys. I just love that. I was able to make music straight away. I don't like struggling when I have music in my head. I just want to get it out there. Sound Prism allowed me to do that. A few years back, I used to think that anything MIDI was really boring, but that changed. It definitely changed when I found Fingertip MIDI. It's a MIDI app, it doesn't make sound, but there was something about the graphical layout of the thing, the way it looked, that made me want to try it. And I did, and I instantly fell in love with it. The best experience I had was actually just connecting it to Thor, loading up a bell preset, and then just sliding my finger across the Fingertip MIDI interface, creating awesome music right there. Music I wouldn't have made unless the app was made in the way it is. Does that sound weird? Either way, it changed something for me, and I still use this app today when I want to have some new ideas. If I feel I'm getting stuck or something, I hook up Fingertip MIDI to some kind of synth and then just slide and getting inspired. Oh, and let's not forget about Fugue Machine. Oof. When Fugue Machine came out, it blew my mind. And a few days ago, well, like yesterday, or was it the day before? Quite recently, it got a really big update. It was yesterday, wasn't it? And that update brought Fugue Machine up to a new level. Because now you can route the MIDI out from each playerhead to individual MIDI channels. To explain Fugue Machine simply, you write one line of music and then you can play it in 4 different ways at the same time, making music making very interesting and fun. Fugue Machine definitely had a great impact on my music making. I'm repeating myself. Well, it's an awesome app, and if you haven't checked it out yet, please do. Last app on the list is Orpheum. Oh, Orpheum is awesome. There's an in-app purchase in Orpheum, and not on the iPhone version, but on the iPad one. And if you make that in-app purchase, then you can make your own layouts. Something that I've done a lot. And the best way to use it, well, at least in my opinion, is to connect it to a big wet reverb and then just play away. It's an instrument. It doesn't have MIDI in, but it has MIDI out, so you can control other stuff with it. And the way that you can change the layouts and the notes, make your own designs with the in-app purchase, of course, is just brilliant. Well, there you go, 8 apps that profoundly shaped my music, the way I think about music, and enabled me to do stuff I didn't know I could do before using those apps. If you want to check out any of these apps, all of the links can be found down in the description. YouTube has kind of hidden them, you know, the description box, so just click on show more and you'll see a bunch of links down there. As usual, Doug Woods, Colin Sweeney and me, Jakob at soundtestroom.com, wishes you a very productive week. Now go finger your surfaces and have a lot of fun doing it.